Lena was washing the dishes when it happened. The kitchen window was slightly open, letting in the soft orange glow of the evening sun. Soap bubbles covered her hands, and the steady rhythm of water hitting porcelain plates filled the quiet house. It was one of those ordinary moments that feel so small at the time, the kind you forget as soon as they pass. But sometimes, it's in these small, ordinary moments that life changes forever. Her husband's phone was lying on the kitchen counter. He had left it there earlier while taking a shower. Lena noticed it near the sink but didn't think much of it. She had always trusted him. 8 years of marriage, 2 beautiful children, shared dreams, shared struggles, trust had never been a question. As she reached for a glass, her elbow accidentally nudged the phone. It slid across the counter and dropped straight into the sink with a soft splash. Her heart jumped. "Oh no, no, no," she whispered. She quickly pulled it out of the soapy water. The screen flickered. She grabbed a towel and started drying it carefully, her fingers trembling slightly. She felt guilty, even though it was an accident. He had warned her before about keeping electronics away from water. The screen suddenly lit up. At first, she felt relief. Maybe it was fine. Then she heard it. A voice message started playing automatically. A woman's voice, soft, intimate, familiar in a way that felt wrong. "Hey love, I miss you already. Last night was perfect. I can't stop thinking about your arms around me. When are you going to tell her?" Lena froze. The world didn't just stop, it shattered. The running water continued pouring into the sink, but she couldn't hear it anymore. The soap bubbles slid slowly down the plates, unnoticed. Her hands felt numb. Her breathing turned shallow. "When are you going to tell her?" "Tell her what?" The message ended. The phone screen showed a contact name saved with just a single red heart emoji. Her mind raced. There had to be an explanation. Maybe it was a joke. Maybe it was an old message. Maybe it wasn't what it sounded like. But deep inside, something heavy and dark began to settle. Footsteps echoed from the hallway. Her husband walked into the kitchen, towel around his shoulders, smiling casually. "Hey, have you seen my phone?" Lena turned slowly, holding it in her hand. "It fell into the sink," she said quietly. His face changed for just a second, not because of the water. Because of fear. "You what?" he asked, stepping closer. "It slipped," she replied. Her voice was steady, but her eyes were searching his face. A voice message played. Silence. He didn't ask what message. He didn't say, "What are you talking about?" He just stared at the phone. The guilt was written all over him. "Lena," he began. That was all it took. Tears filled her eyes, but she refused to let them fall. "How long?" she asked softly. He looked away, and in that moment, she had her answer. The confession came in pieces. Broken sentences, half-truths, excuses. It had started, a few months ago. It didn't mean anything. He never meant to hurt her. He still loved her. Each word felt like another crack in the foundation of her heart. The woman was someone from his office. It had started with late meetings. Then coffee. Then, just talking. Then one night when he said he was working late. Lena remembered that night. She had waited up for him. Texted him. Told him dinner was getting cold. And he had replied with, "Don't wait up. Big project. Big lie." She felt anger rising now. Not loud, not explosive, but cold and sharp. "What were you going to tell me?" she asked. He hesitated. He had been thinking of leaving. Leaving. 8 years. 2 children. A home built together. All of it suddenly felt fragile. The kitchen, once warm and safe, now felt unfamiliar. The man standing in front of her looked like a stranger wearing her husband's face. That night, they didn't scream. They didn't throw things. They didn't wake the children. They talked, and the truth unfolded like a painful story Lena never wanted to read. He said he felt lost. He said he felt unappreciated. He said he didn't know how things had gotten so distant between them. Lena listened, not because it didn't hurt, but because she needed to understand how love turns into betrayal. She thought about the years they had spent surviving, paying bills, raising kids, balancing responsibilities. Maybe somewhere in the routine, they had stopped truly seeing each other. But that didn't excuse what he had done. Nothing could. Days passed in heavy silence. He tried to apologize. He ended the affair. He showed her messages proving it was over. But trust isn't something you can dry off with a towel like a wet phone. It doesn't flicker back to life just because you want it to. Lena struggled with questions that kept her awake at night. Was she not enough? Had she changed too much? Was their love ever real? One evening, while sitting alone in the living room, she looked at old photos. Their wedding day, the birth of their first child, family vacations filled with laughter. Was that happiness fake, or had something real simply broken along the way? Her husband started therapy. He begged her to go to couples counseling. He promised to fight for their marriage. And Lena faced the hardest decision of her life. Leaving would be easier in some ways. No more doubt, no more pain from wondering if he was lying again. But staying would require strength, the kind that means rebuilding from ashes. She realized something important. The accident with the phone wasn't what destroyed her marriage. It revealed what was already cracking. Weeks later, they sat in a counselor's office. It was uncomfortable, honest, raw. He admitted his mistakes without blaming her. For the first time, he stopped defending himself and truly listened to her pain. And Lena did something unexpected. She spoke about her own loneliness too. About feeling invisible. About missing the man he used to be. Healing wasn't immediate. It wasn't magical. Some days were good. Some days she couldn't look at him without remembering that voice message. Last night was perfect. Those words still echoed. But slowly, something began to change. Not back to what they had before. Something new. Stronger in some ways. More honest. Trust was rebuilt in tiny actions. Transparency. Open phones. Honest conversations. Effort. Months later, Lena stood in the same kitchen, washing dishes again. The window was open. The sun was setting. Her husband walked in, wrapped his arms gently around her from behind. She stiffened for a second. Old wounds don't disappear completely. But then she relaxed. He whispered, "Thank you for giving us another chance." She didn't answer immediately, because forgiveness isn't about forgetting. It's about choosing. Choosing every day whether to hold on to anger or to move forward. Lena knew not every story ends this way. Some betrayals are too deep. Some trust can't be rebuilt. But she also knew this. Life can change in a single second. A phone slipping into water. A voice message playing at the wrong time. An ordinary evening becoming unforgettable. Sometimes, the truth arrives in the most unexpected ways. And when it does, you have two choices. Let it destroy you, or let it transform you. Lena chose transformation, not because it was easy, but because she refused to let one mistake, even a devastating one, define the rest of her life. And that night, as the dishes dried and the house grew quiet, she realized something powerful. Strength isn't found in perfect marriages. It's found in what you do when perfection shatters. If this story touched your heart, remember, communication matters. Small distances can turn into deep gaps if left unattended. Love requires effort, honesty, and courage. And sometimes, even accidents carry messages we were meant to hear.